Welcome to aminacademy.com. In mathematical economics, let us discuss about consumption function. The consumption function refers to the relationship between income and consumption. It is a functional relationship between consumption and income. Symbolically, the relationship is represented by C is equal f of y, where C is the consumption, y is income. That means C is a function of y. Thus, the consumption function indicates the functional relationship between C and Y, where C is the dependent variable and Y is the independent variable. That is, C is determined by Y. In fact, propensity to consume or consumption function is a sketch of the various amounts of consumption expenditure corresponding to different levels of income. In the Keynesian framework, the consumption function or propensity to consume refers to the functional relationship between two aggregates, that is, total consumption and gross national income. The Keynesian consumption function C equal A plus BYD expresses the level of consumer spending depending on three factors as explained below. Y is a disposable income, A is a autonomous consumption, B is marginal propensity. Now we'll discuss further detail about consumption function. In mathematical economics, the consumption function describes the relationship between aggregate consumption and disposable income. It's a key concept in Keynesian economics, showing how much households are willing to spend at different incomes level, assuming other factors are constant. The basic formula is C equal A plus BY, where C is the consumption and Y is the income and A is the autonomous consumption, spending when income is zero, and B is the marginal propensity to consume, MPC. Some consumption function aspects. Keynesian economics, what is that? The consumption function is a central part of Keynesian theory of income and employment. Relationship to income. It shows that consumption generally increases as income increases. Normally, consumption increases when income increases, but not the same rate. The rate will change. People tend to save a proportion of their income. Formula. The most basic formula is C equal to A plus BY, linear relation, where A is the autonomous consumption, what people would spend even with zero income, and B is the MPC, indicating how much consumption changes for each unit change in income. MPC, marginal propensity to consume. This is the slope of the consumption function, representing the function of each additional dollar of income that is spent on consumption. APC, average propensity to consume. This is the ratio of total consumption to total income, that is C by Y. Factors affecting consumption. Besides income, other factors like wealth, interest rates, and expectations can influence consumption. Implications. The consumption function helps in understanding how changes in income affects overall demands and economic growth. Types of consumption. Different types of goods are consumed, including convenience, shopping, specialty, and unsought goods. Graphical representation. The consumption function is typically graphed with consumption on the vertical axis and income in the horizontal axis. In the horizontal axis, it's income, this is consumption, this is a consumption, this is a income. In a sense, we can say the consumption function is a fundamental tool for analyzing to how household spending represent to changes in income and is crucial for understanding economic behavior and policy. Now, let us explain the solving problem involving consumption function often involved. Look at this one. Determining the equilibrium income. What is that equilibrium income? In a closed economy, equilibrium occurs when aggregate expenditure, that is a total spending, equals to the total income, GDP. This can be found by setting consumption C plus investment I equal to income Y and solving Y. That means, look at here, can be found by setting consumption C plus I. C plus I equals to Y. Calculating consumption at a given income level. Using the consumption function formula, we can calculate the level of consumption for a specific income. Analyzing the impact of changes in income or MPC, you can see how changes in income or the MPC affects the level of consumption and consequently equilibrium income. Look at this example, you can understand. Let's say the consumption function C equal to 100 plus 0.75 Y and investment I is 200. Investment is 200 and consumption is 100 plus 0.75 Y. To find the equilibrium income Y, for equilibrium income, we have to equate Y equals C plus I. Substitute the consumption function and investment. Here, consumption function Y equal 100 plus 0.75Y plus I is the 200 here, both. Then solving Y equal 100 plus 200 is 300. Solve for Y, that is 0.25Y. Here 100 plus 0.75 175 Y plus I, which is equal 100 plus 0.75. What is Y? 100 is, I is 200. So Y equals C plus I. Then which gives Y equal, that is 300 by 0.75. One times 300 is 1200. This equilibrium condition y equal income, we can find 1200. To calculate consumption at this equilibrium, look at here, y equal to 1200 to the consumption function, c equal 100 plus 0.75 into 1200. That means which is equal, c equal 100 plus 0.75, 1400 is 900, 0.75 into 1200 gives 900, which is equal 1000. Therefore, calculate consumption at this equilibrium condition is C equal to 1000. If the investment increases to 300, what happens? Here, new equilibrium condition y equals C plus I, where y equals 100 plus 0.75y, because investment 0.75y plus 300. So 300 plus 100 is 400, that is 0.75, 0.25. Because 1 y minus 0.75y is 0.25y, which is equal, here this y, so this y minus 0.75y is 0.25y, which is equal 400. Then by using the simplification, 0.75 equal 400 divided by y equal 0.75, 400 by 0.25, which just means 400 into 4 equal 1600. The increase in investment from 200 to 300 leads to an increase in equilibrium income, that is 1200 to 1600. Previously you got, now it's increased 1600. This demonstrates how the consumption function can be used to analyze the relationship between income and spending and to understand how changes in this variable affect the economy. Now, so far we discussed about what is the consumption function and we did some solving problem. We have done. Please subscribe our YouTube channel.